The legislative branch of the government, our constitution, is to provide oversight of the other branches of government. It's fast becoming a precedent that in the discharge of our duty to provide oversight, we are either insulted or accused by public officials. Not necessarily by the ordinary man in the street, but by officials of government. Months ago, a committee on foreign affairs invited the foreign minister here, and we have some concerns. Expressing those concerns, we talk about the misuse of diplomatic passport. We go on aircraft displaying the diplomatic passport, we put it on social media. And I was insulted by two officials of government. They went on the airwaves, they went in the papers, they insulted me for expressing my concern. I went on the talk show and I stated that I want this government to be a one-term government. It became a crime. The Ministry of Information doctored a statement and accused me of trying to destabilize the country and prevent investors from coming to this country. For expressing my concern. I went on the talk show and I stated that I want this government to be a one-term government. It became a crime. The Ministry of Information doctored a statement and accused me of trying to destabilize the country and prevent investors from coming to this country. I complained formally to the Senate, and the Senate leadership took seize of the matter, and I'm still looking forward to a resolution based on the discussion I've held. A few last session, I wrote a letter to this plenary that it is alleged that a gambling center has been opened at ELBC. The Director General of ELBC, in his response, went to the social media and raged insult, this time not just on me, but even on the Senate. Questioning the Senate, insulting me, went on. Senator Dallas Dillon has been talking about the issue of work permit. In response, the Minister of Labor went to the Ministry of Information on the government platform and said he was nominated by the President to be Minister of Justice, and that Senator Dallas Dillon rejected that nomination, and that's how he became Minister of Labor. He didn't stop the social group, which is not that important, but even his own political party that he chairs did a formal statement accusing Senator Dillon of attacking Libanians. Even accused Senator Dillon of attributing to the death of Senator Johnson that he doesn't like Libanians. That which I consider a threat to his presence, his life. When I'm quoting, if these actions of agents of the executive and state actors go unnoticed, today it might be Edwin Snow as an opposition, a proud opposition. But what about Dillon, who's a member of a ruling party, and that's why I use him as another reference. We all here will be under attack one day or the other. My prayer to this Senate is that we did a right to act now, but we forever go our peace. Because when we begin to go around, nothing is happening today, we begin to go around, we all sit apparently and see what will happen. But I think it's a gross disrespect to the Senate. It infringes on our constitutional responsibility that in the discharge of our duty, we are either being threatened or we are being insulted, not just by the ordinary people in the market, but by officials of our own government for doing our job. I submit.
Thank you, Senator Snow. So, anybody want to speak on this?
Where is nonsense coming from? Please, Madam President, distinguished colleagues, where is nonsense, left-threatening thing coming from? That when you speak on governance issue, oversight, then you are supposed to be anti-NIMA. My left is threatened, my left is at risk, because the people who speaking, I know them. Madam President, Madam President.
Yeah, that would be my thing. So it can't be interaction.
Madam President, the Minister of Public Works must be brought before the Senate. The Minister of Labor, I want to make the case. If it makes sense, okay. If it doesn't, fine, I can live with it. The Minister of Labor did not go to his house to make a wild allegation to the effect that he was nominated by President Joseph Nyeman Boakai to be Minister of Justice. His communication, his nomination was formally communicated to the Senate in keeping with the law and the practice, and that our Darius Dillon, as senator, fought his nomination in the Senate until the president withdrew him. He did not say that in his living room. Madam President Pro Tempore, all of us in the Senate, in our Senate chat room, we have the video. The Minister of Labor, he is angered in our exercise of our oversight responsibility on the work permit issue, went to the government funded, sanctioned press conference at the MICAT, Ministry of Information, where he said on video, live, that Senator Dillon is against the people for NIMA. It's the same way I'm targeting him because the president nominated him. He later came here and I fought it until the president withdrew him. In a same press conference at the Ministry of Information, regular weekly press briefing, the Minister of Labor said that that's the same target I used to target Senator Prince Johnson, peace be to his ashes. And that's the same thing I'm doing to him for another NIMA person to die. But I told him, I'm not afraid, but my life is threatened. Your life can be threatened. Why are you being afraid of the threat? You understand? I want to make it clear. Our honored Georgia government and our declared national security threat. I couldn't even move places. But the reason I'm making all these statements in this chamber is because all these things are happening. When the labor minister came here as a nominee, he sat there and I asked him about work permit, what we would do about work permit to give our people a job, and he committed. And I told him that I will vote for you so that after 6 months, you can come give us what we're doing on the work permit issue for our people to get jobs. And in the exercise of that duty, when I confirmed that labor minister that day, Madam President, distinguished colleagues, I want to make it clear that he was not a cool man when I confirmed him. He was not Bassa. He was not VAR. He was from NIMA when I confirmed him to be Minister of Labor. So my questions on his performance, especially when it has to do with work permit issue, cannot be now that because he's from NIMA and Guillaume. Let me go further. In the Senate chat room, I put a video. The Assistant Secretary of MDR, who is a staff at the Ministry of Labor, went on the radio in Nima County to rally Nima County that I killed Prince Johnson. And I want to kill another Nibaya again. Man, I brought them, distinguished colleagues, Mr. Frederick Bay is the Deputy Director of Communications at the Ministry of Labor. He and two other quote-unquote civil society institutions issued damning statements against me. He is the Deputy Communications Director at the Ministry of Labor. Man, I brought them. The minister has said MDR, the people who talking on their own, MDR itself has spoken. Everything the gentleman said to the people of Nimba, in Nimba, on the radio, that I'm doing everything to frustrate Nimba from becoming president. I'm undermining the rescue government unity, and I'm doing it because Liberty Party is all kinds of stuff. The gentleman said all of those things, and in MDR official press conference, all those things are enumerated there.
Okay. Good morning, Liberia. Good morning, Monrovia. Good morning, Painesville. Good morning to all Liberians listening from every corner of the world. This is the sound that wakes a nation, the signal that stirs the conversations, and of course, the voice that carries the heartbeat of our people. Where you're listening to Spawn, you're watching Spawn right here on 107.5 or 101.1. This is a platform that never sleeps. The networks that bring you the truth loud, clear, and uncompromised. Broadcasting live from the historic heart of odious Congo Town here in Monrovia. And of course, we live on Spawn TV, Fabric TV, and Super TV. Coming together to bring you the morning show that ships a national dialogue. This is the Today Show. Welcome to it, and let's have a wonderful time together. This is the platform where Liberia wakes up to deep conversations, strong opinions, and fearless debates. A show that dives into the political currents stirring our nation, the social realities shaping our various communities, and of course, the economic decisions impacting our markets and our pockets. My name is Yekezi Zobe this morning, once more here, alongside Sylvester Wowie, who will be coming on live very shortly. So wherever you are, keep your dial set, keep watching, and invite someone to listen along or watch along, because as usual, the show promises to be very fascinating. So what do we have on our plate this morning? Well, first off, we'll bring you the traffic talk, where we'll be telling you exactly, the various transportation fares in Monrovia and its surroundings. And of course, the fares from Monrovia to major cities, areas in Liberia. And it's good that now we have the NTA, to help with transportation across Monrovia and other parts of Liberia. And quite frankly, since the ban on commercial motorcyclists from plying the principal streets of Monrovia, it's been difficult when it comes to transportation. In the morning hours at major junctions, you see a lot of citizens standing by and waiting vehicles, just to take them to work. In fact, fighting over vehicles, fighting over taxi cabs, the buses and everything, to take them to work, whatever their destination is. And as well in the evening, you see similar, thing where citizens are standing along the roadside, waiting for vehicles to take them home. And some will wait for hours, some will wait for several minutes. If you're not strong enough to fight over a taxi cab, it becomes difficult for you. But I think the coming in of the new buses, the NTA buses, it's going to help with that. It's going to reduce the difficulties when it comes to transportation, especially in Monrovia, making transportation very, very affordable. And also, yesterday on the one-on-one with the CEO, Maggie County Senator Nathaniel McGill did appear, and they said a lot of things. In fact, he said a lot of things because the CEO was just an interviewer. He was an interviewee. He said a lot of things, very, very interesting things, and we will be delving into some of those things that he said here this morning. One of the things that he said was that the CDC is coming back to power in 2029. Yeah, that's what he said. The CDC is coming back to power in 2029. He also said former President Weah held meetings with opposition political party leaders to reconcile the country. But President Bouaka can reconcile the country when his ministers are using government platforms to insult opposition leaders and critics. Who are those ministers? Is he talking about? Is he talking about the folks from the Ministry of Information or from the state broadcaster? Well, we'll delve deep into that. He also said the Oriental oil deal is bad. According to him, Arthur Easy is a BM 419. He said Oriental stole more than US $200 million from the Liberian people, and the rescue government is bringing Oriental back to rob the Liberian people again. And so he says he doesn't support the Oriental deal. Another thing that he did mention in his yesterday's interview with the CEO and his team of panelists was that the Unity Party people lied about the CDC killing auditors. And he said the same Unity Party has been in power now almost 2 years, and no one has been prosecuted by the Unity Party government relative to that. And he said it's the same thing that they did with the 3 missing boys. They said the CDC was involved in the killing of the 3 missing boys, specifically officials within the CDC government. And he said the Unity Party government lied about that. Since then, No. In fact, actually, an investigation has been done. The police carried out an investigation, came up with a report not contradictory to what this CDC government funding was then. Yeah, so he said a lot of things, but we will delve deeper into some of those things right here on the show. So my name is Yekezi Zogbe once more. Let me recognize those of you watching the show live. Frederick James Divine says, good morning, my brother. I'm following on my way to work. Thanks for following. Pidesco Lie is also watching from Bongaple, Nimba County. So that's Bill Bongaple, Nimba County. Oh yes, I love those names. Emmett Hammond is also following the show this morning from Cox City. Emmett will be having a wonderful time. Conan Flomo is following the show. Samuel K says, thanks, brother. Emmanuel Findor is following the show. Alio S. Donzo is also following the show this morning. Amon Skly Deba. Hope I got the pronunciation of your last name right, Amons. Lovema King is following the show from 9th Street in St. Paul. Thanks for following. Tamba Kindima is following the show and says, good morning. Stubada Sam Yont Jr. is following the show. Bless Eman is following the show. Robert Lean Titi Jala Dennis is also following the show. Washington T. Zane is following the show from District Number 3, 3rd in Nimba County. Bill Joel is also following the show. Good morning and welcome to all of you following the show this morning. We are here to bring you the best. So, folks, let's take this quick break. When we come back, we'll bring you the traffic talk, followed by cutting across Liberia to speak with our various correspondents to tell you exactly what's happening in their various counties. But we'll take this short break to be back with you.
The Minister of Labor himself had gone to government platform to say these things. He's the chairman of MDR. MDR Deputy Secretary has spoken. MDR herself has spoken. What one of them permitting business is Nima business coming. When I fought here for us to do domestic debt, even at that the CDC government did not say I was anti-coup people. But what happened today? After audit of domestic debt, officially the GSC reported that the government should not pay $704 million in domestic debt on verified claims. Imagine if we are not fought to bring domestic debt issue to light. Book of claims. This is not joke. This is no joke. You got overzealous people. They'll do anything. So I'm asking the Senate, and let me close. I'm making a case for Mr. Eugene Fagon to be brought before the Senate. Because what he said that we have on tape, video, in our chat room and on social media was not against Senator Snow, was against the Senate. Was against the Senate. At this point in time, Liberia has seen blessed quote-unquote heroes. What about it?
pleasant good morning and welcome back. You're listening to the Today Show right here on Spawn 107.5. The show is also being simulcast on Fabric 101.1 and relayed across other community radio stations in Liberia. And of course, we do have Sylvester Wowie with us now. Sylvester, good morning and welcome to the show. How are you? How was your weekend?
Mr. Good morning to you, Yakas, and good morning to our many listeners on our voices this morning. The weekend was great as usual.
Okay. It is a pleasure to have you on once more on the Today Show.
It's good being here as usual, Yakas.
Okay, you look sparkling this morning. No. Okay, but folks, let's begin the show this morning. Let's firstly bring you the transportation fares. This is very important for our people that are traveling on a daily basis, or even occasionally, to know, the various transportation fares, especially the updated one from the Ministry of Transport, so that they cannot be exploited. Because the Ministry of Transport did work with the various unions, the various transport unions to come up with these states. And I think this aligns with, petroleum prices in the country. So it is very important that the people get to know about them to avoid being exploited. When you inform, you're not easily exploited, except you want to get into exploitation. Exploitation. That's the only way. Now, let's go into it. Beginning with the transportation fare in a taxi from Tottenberg, Monrovia to Tottenberg is 600 in a taxi. To Bar in Tottenberg is also 500. In Bong County, Banga, Monrovia to Banga is 900 Liberian dollars. The Bong Man is 700. To Tota is 700. To Sala is 550 Liberian dollars. That is in a taxi. And of course, to Batala is 900. The Swako code of the Quatitot area is 900. Palala is 1,400. That is from Monrovia to those places. Now, let's come to Banga. From Banga to Wonderman is 3,000 Liberian dollars in a taxi. To Salaye is 1,200 to Zozo. That is from Banga to Zozo is 1,400 Liberian dollars, and that's according to the Ministry of Transport. From Monrovia to Bopolu City in Bapolo County is 1,400 Liberian dollars. From Bassa, from Monrovia to Buchanan, Grand Bassa County is 900 Liberian dollars, and that distance is about 2 hours. 41 minutes in a taxi. From Buchanan to Riverside is 1,700, and that distance is about 1 hour, 51 minutes. Buchanan to Sano County is 5,000 Liberian dollars in a taxi, and of course that distance is 4 hours, 36 minutes. From Monrovia to Rampersport is 1,250 Liberian dollars. Is 71.2 mile distance, 3 hours, 10 minutes approximately. From Monrovia to Waterside is 1,100. Is 78.8 mile distance, and of course 2 hours 30 minutes long. And from Waterside to Free is 800 Liberian dollars. All right, let's come to Grand Gila County. From Monrovia to Zouadjou is 7,000 Liberian dollars, and that distance is 8 hours 30-minute distance. Yeah, it's 296 miles. From Zwedge to Backlefield is 8,000 Liberian dollars in the taxes. Okay, let's leave it there. From Monrovia to Bonjaman, it's 4,000 Liberian dollars, 242-mile distance. And of course, from Monrovia to Salaye is 2,200 Liberian dollars. And of course, from Monrovia to Zozo, it's 2,500 Liberian dollars. Okay. From Monrovia to Kak City, Kakata, is 300 Liberian dollars. It's just about an hour, 28-minute distance in a taxi. An hour, 28 minutes? I think, anyway, it depends on the speed of the vehicle because, you know, rating a taxi from Painesville, from Painesville to Kakata. I mean, and we spent less than an hour on the road.
Oh, he was flying.
Not excessively speedy. Yes, he was. I mean, the travel was speeding, but not excessively. So I mean, it you know, apparently depends on the speed. Maybe they talking about a normal speed range here. Yeah, but whatever the case is, from Monrovia to Notice is 300, to the Ara is 300 in a taxi, to Hadel is 300, to Unification Town is 300, to Camp Kessely is 300, to Conilad is 400, to Duazon is 150, to Cotton Tree is 400 Iberian dollars. From Monrovia to Harper, Maryland County is 11,000 Iberian dollars. It's 475-mile distance. About 12 hours, 55 minutes away from Monrovia. That is if you are loading a taxi. For Plebo, it's the same amount, 11,000. And the distance is shorter compared to Harper. All right, and from Nimba County, standing for is 2,000 Liberian dollars. To Gunpad is 1,500. To Saclefit is 2,500. To Ban is 2,500. Cramplet is 2,500. Yikepad is 2,500. Tapetan is 2,300. To Sesto in Sesto City in Riverside County is 3,500. That is from Monrovia to Sesto City. It's 3,500 in a taxi. And of course, the Fish Town in River G County is 9,000 Liberian dollars. And to Greenville City, there in Sano County, is 6,000 Liberian dollars. And that is it for taxi. Now for the bus, from Monrovia to Tottenberg is 300. From Monrovia to Vanguard is 600. From Monrovia to Cortiton to the Phoebe area, Quacoco, is 600 in a bus. From Monrovia to Popolu is 1,000 in a bus. From Monrovia to oh my God. So from Monrovia to let's see, Buchanan is 500 in a bus. From Monrovia to Robertsport, Grand Cape Mount County is 700 in a bus. To Zoidwood is 4,500 in a bus. To Vonjaman is 2,000 in a bus. To Kakata is $150. To Maryland County is Harper specifically is 7,500. And to Plebo is 7,500 as well. To Nimba County is 1,200. And to Ganta is 900 in a bus. And I think they are referring to the private commercial buses. But let's bring you facts right here in Montserrat County for the NTA buses. So the NTA has a pickup point in the red light area. From the red light area, the route is the Japan Freeway. The drop-off point is Buchanan Street, and the fare is $50. All right. It also has a pickup point in the same red light area using the Cinco route. And of course, the drop-off point is Broad Street. The transportation fare is just 50 Liberian dollars. The NTA buses also have a pickup point in Douala, and the route is Freeport. And of course, the drop-off point is Buchanan Street. The fare is 50 Liberian dollars. It also has a pickup point in New Georgia Estate using the Freeport route, and the drop-off point is Buchanan Street. 50 Liberian dollars is the transportation fare. Also, there's a pickup point at the Bannersville Estate. The route is Freeport, and the drop-off point is Buchanan Street. Also, there's a pickup point at the Pearl River area. The route is Freeport, and of course, Buchanan Street is a drop-off point. 100 Liberian dollars is the transportation fare. Also, there's a pickup point in Bosstown. Yep, in Bosstown, Margibi County. The route is, of course, the ELW Cinco route, and the drop-off point is Broad Street, and the transportation fare is 150 Liberian dollars. So yes, those are transportation fares for the NTA buses in Monrovia and its surrounding. Yeah, so folks, that's it. We leave it at that, and tomorrow we hope to play host to officials from the National Transit Authority. We are hoping so, to play host to them, and then on Wednesday, yes, we hope to play host to some officials from the National East Commission as well, because we need to talk about this whole statistic thing that's going about in the country about HIV and AIDS, the number of people infected with HIV and AIDS as of this year. Ahead of the World AIDS Day, which is December 1. It's going to be World AIDS Day. So it's important, to get the actual information from the house's mouth to come and sit on this platform to actually tell us, the details of those statistics and what can be done to prevent HIV and AIDS, the treatment process, and everything is very, very important that you know those information. So that's it.
1,000 increment from last year, to 2025. I mean, from 34 to 36.
Yeah. So whatever the case is, tomorrow the officials will be here. The official spokesperson from the National Commission on HIV and AIDS, to give us detailed information about that. And there's still this stigma about HIV and AIDS in Africa, in Liberia, But I think more advancement has been made when it comes to the treatment and the prevention of HIV and AIDS. And then based on that, the illness is not as life threatening as it used to be, but the officials will come to speak to us about that on Wednesday. So expect that. But folks, this morning we'd like to cut across Liberia to speak with some of our correspondents. Let's begin with Victor Cooper from Nimba County to tell us what's unfolding there in Nimba County. Victor is our Upper Nimba County correspondent. Let's get to know what's happening in Gompa City, Nimba County, and other parts of Upper Nimba County this morning. We are hearing that the young people in Nimba have given the PYJ Polytechnic University a facelift ahead of the 28th Memorial Feast of the Senator Prince Yomi Johnson. Let's talk to Victor. Victor, good morning and welcome.
So, listen.
Oh my God, we lost Victor. Let's try to regain. Please a call to him. Okay. All right. And folks, don't forget to play the radio entertainment game. Our dashboard here has been open since 7 o'clock this morning. Play it and win for yourself some big cash prizes, huge cash prizes, up to 15,000 Liberian dollars this morning on the show. All you need to do is to dial the playing code is *799*3#. Once you dial that code, it takes you to the payment of the playing fee, which is just 50 cents US or 50 Liberian dollars. Once you dial the code and pay the playing fee, the next thing you want to do is to enter your mobile money PIN to confirm the payment. And once you do that, you automatically enter the draw, and you stand a chance to win for yourselves up to 15,000 Liberian dollars here this morning. We'll be dishing out 5,000 as well. We'll be dishing out 10,000 as well. So the more you play, the more your chances are to win. And also we'll be giving our prizes to frequent players, bags of rice, bottle of oil, and all of that. We'll be giving those material prizes out to some of our frequent players. That is those who play the game, frequently, but then they've not been able to win. So we'll also be giving out material prizes to them. But let's go to the line to speak with Victor. Victor, good morning. I don't know why your line is fluctuating this morning. Let's hear you. How is Upper Nimba?
So, good morning, Yekezi. Good morning to everyone this morning. It's my pleasure being on the Spoon Show this morning. So, Nimba County is feeling better. We have this friendly atmosphere here this morning. And our sectors here are active. Our people from the school sector, students are going to school. The doctors and nurses are all going to work. And our security folks are already on duty. So, we're just about to get in the street and see how they want to be today.
Okay, tell us what's going on there. We are hearing that the 28th has been set for the memorial of the late Senator Prince Yomi Johnson. Tell us what are preparations being made ahead of that day. I mean, is everything set as planned? Because it was announced that all of the clowns will be giving cows, and there were several preparations that were announced prior to that day. So are those preparations proceeding well?
So, Yagazi, thank you for usually bringing forth the issue of the feast in the county, because there are other people who raise the issue and don't go after it. But then on a daily basis, each time we on the show, you want to remind the people about the happening in the county more, especially with the Senator feast. Yes, preparation is ongoing. On Saturday, the young people in Nimba County, headed by the MTR Youth Wing.
Oh my God.
Slip off.
So, yep, he's gone off the line again. I don't know what's happening with his line, but we are trying to reconnect with him. Once more. Yeah, Victor. Sorry, I don't know what's going on with your line, but let's hear you.
Yeah, network. So, like I said, on Saturday, the Nimba County youth, and more especially the MTR youth wing, headed by Yomin Tope, for Peter and other guys here, head a team to the compound of the PYJ Protect the Unified.
Oh my God. Yeah. So I think the blocking is
fluctuating.
yeah.
Let's use orange.
Yeah. Please go ahead. I think it's gonna be better now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the team were here and they were headed by Benedict Toby and that of Endeavor G. Peter. Over 700 young people from across the county were at a PYJ Polytechnic University compound on the cleaning up of the entity ahead of the November 28th Memorial Feast celebration of the late senator. So the place were heavily attended. I mean, some supporters of the late senator were here. Sympathizers came around and they did the cleaning up in a friendly mood. Everyone were there celebrating the process. So where the feast celebration going to be, that is the PRC compound here has already been cleaning up. I'm seeing the painting process ongoing. We still observing whether the guy who would do the electronic work want to come in recent time to do all of the electronic work there. So the brushing of the place has been done already. So in my mind, preparation in terms of the cleaning up or the host of the place have already been set up, except where we're looking up to the team now that is to distribute those materials to the various chiefs down here in the county.
Do we have the cows now in country?
The cow hasn't arrived yet, except where it is on the way coming. We are not yet received the cow.
How many cows we're talking about here?
I'm told it is about 40 cows.
40 cows.
Yeah, so we have
35. For the 40 chiefdom.
Are we there?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So we have like 35 chiefdom in the county. So the 35 chiefdom will be carrying 5 cows each, but then the balance 5 cows will be killed here in Ganta, where we're going to be the host.
Say that again. Hello. Yeah. Did you say 35 chiefdoms and 40 cows, and each chiefdom will be carrying five cows? Is that what you said?
No, each chiefdom carry 1 cow. And
yeah. So let me make that clarification.
5.
Yeah, we going to make clarity that it is 40 cows. Yes, it is 40 cows. That's what we're getting. It is 40 cows.
Okay.
So yes, 40 cows. Each of the chiefdom will be carrying 5 cows. Yes, because they will not come
you repeating the same thing.
You still saying the same thing.
You get it?
Yeah.
Why we gather here is before then we've been getting the information that if you're going to carry 1 cow.
Okay.
That's what we've been getting.
But it can be 40 cows now.
It is not ready on the table where the people will come up with the duties of everything. But this one is coming from a traditional team in the county, those of whom are already prepared on the ground here. Because we want to hear from the vice president or the superintendent. They are the one who lead this whole process in the county.
So what is the information from the vice president pertaining the cow?
The vice president in previous town said this whole process has been postponed. So let's put for the vice president. The vice president said the process have been postponed in the county. So he sent the communication to the superintendent.
So specifically pertaining the cow issue, what did the vice president say about the cows? How many cows did he say would be distributed on each of the clans there?
From the previous stage where the vice president spoke in the county, he said each chiefdom going to carry 1 cow.
Okay.
Each chiefdom going to carry 1 cow. So if 1 chiefdom will be having 1 cow, so that is going to be across the board.
So then where the issue of the 5 cows for each chiefdom coming from now?
So that's why I want to speak on very quickly until you brought in the issue of what the vice president says. So that completely the vice president statement before we go to the traditional chief in the county. So the vice president said each chief will be carrying 1 cow with 20 bag of rice with 500 USD. So these are things that are going to be benefiting 500 USD, 20 bag of rice with 1 cow each chieftain. So 35 cows. So they're going to have the cow across the board. But then in recent time, after they pronounced the postponement of this entire feast, there have been rigmarole from the chief and elders in the county. According to the team on the ground said, the chief and elders on the ground said, there have been every mechanism put in place now, and the cow have been increased. That each chief is going to carry 5 cows. So it's something where all of us on the ground, we live in total limbo.
Who's providing the additional cows?
No, we don't know. We don't know. So we're still looking up to the vice president who's putting either time to speak before all of us can balance these things in the county. But one person who also look up to is the superintendent, because the communication is between the superintendent and the vice president. So if they release a word coming to the public that indeed the entire celebration of the feast stands for the 28th, and this is the amount of cow that will be distributed across the county, first thing we're going to report directly from the superintendent and the vice president. But for now, recently we had a meeting with the chief and elders in Zegli. So it was in Zegli they made those pronouncements. So almost all of us in the county are looking up to the chief and elders as we speak. They are still in Moravia because they were there for the induction service morning of the current minister, Landsman Minister, Matana Timba. They were all there. They're still in Moravia there. So these are communication we're getting from them on the ground too.
All right, I'm already interested in knowing that that information, because if that's five cows for each chiefdom, then I think that whole feast will be a cow feast, because we will be talking about 175 cows
for the 35 chiefdoms.
For the 35 chiefdoms.
Yeah, sure. So in my mind, I think they are just exaggerating. In my mind, the chief and elders, usually there are people who make it look bigger in the county. So they are exaggerating over the vice president own pronouncement, because the vice president said everything about the feast is on his shoulder. He's taking responsibilities of this feast. So whatever he pronounced in his speech, I think it is more necessary that we go.
No, if the 5 cow part, then I force to be there. I force to go in and chief in the man
to go eat a cow. No, but
okay.
I mean, it could also be possible that the vice president provide one and the chief and elders could provide the remaining 4
for each of the each of the chiefdom.
Yeah, each of the chiefdom.
Yeah, so the vice president elders said each chiefdom will be carrying 1 cow, 500 USD with 20 bag of rice. So I think the statement from the vice president is what we're looking up to.
Okay. All right. Any other development from Nimba County?
Basically, the one you have in possession, apparently you might do a publication of that has to do with the Methodist school.
Okay.
So the Methodist school here, the principal, Mr. James Colobly, is reporting that report coming from Front Page Africa against their institutions, it is inadequate and it is misleading. On the 20th of this November month, Front Page Africa, Franklin Duluku reporter, Nimba County reported that the institution, parents of the institution, had a dispute over graduation registration fees, graduation fees in the institution. But that parent, the school collected graduation fees before last resort. But that the parents have been taking serious dispute with the school administration in the county. But then Reverend Colobly is saying the information Franklin Duluku provided, it is far away from the truth. There is no information relating to the institution that has to do with dispute or argument between they and parents in the community. So he said the institution Front Page Africa should provide a video or pictorial evidence that stage dispute between parents and all of the school administration. It is the first of its kind in history for Franklin Duluku to report on the institution regarding parent school accepting fees before graduation. If Franklin Duluku already graduated from the school, he's an alumni of the school, there is no day where they collected graduation fee before last resort. So they are demanding Front Page Africa to give pictorial evidence or video proof that will give clear picture of what has been reported against their institution. So Front Page Africa has now reported adequate information and they need to be thoroughly investigating that information in the county. These are things so far in the county about the institution of Front Page Africa.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We don't have the luxury of time. Thank you very much, Victor Cooper from Upper Nimba County there for filling us in with those information. Quickly, let's go over to Bond County. And yeah, our conversation with the Bond County correspondent is going to be very, 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 very succinct because we don't have the luxury of time. We have to delve into other issues here. We speak to Reverend Thomas Jones Sr. He's a former supervisor at the TRP division at the Ministry of Labor. He's, made some allegation against the labor ministry, about failing to, pay his salary. He worked for the Ministry of Labor. He worked with the Ministry of Labor for 30 months, and he was only paid 6 months. Hello? Okay, so we come to that. We have King Brown on the line. King, good morning and welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Yagazi. Thanks so much to our listeners for following. This morning, it's a pleasure to join you from Grand Bassa. Thanks so much for connecting with me.
Okay. How is Grand Bassa County?
Well, this morning in Grand Bassa, specifically in the post city of Buchanan, we are here experiencing a very good weather condition this morning. The sun is coming up, and the streets are very busy this morning as we speak.
Okay. Now, bring us details about this development of a local leader, being let go of the job because of, pepper spraying journalists allegedly. Yeah, you want to give us more information about that?
Yeah, so that development is around the Grand Bassa Police Detachment has a new commander for its Crime Services Division. So his name is Superintendent Wilma Smith. So Smith officially took over on Thursday and was inducted into office by the County Police Commander, William Johnson. He replaces former security commander Sophia Menson. So Sophia Menson was here in the county, heading the security division. Some part of 2-3 months ago, some journalists from the county here went to the police headquarters on the fairground here in Buchanan to inquire after it was reported that a little girl allegedly stole a little over $2 million from behind her mother, who was the social mother for her friends. And so when that information came out, the journalists went directly to the police station to see whether they could speak with either the suspect or the police that was on top of that investigation. But they said when they went there, this lady, Sophia Meston, she snapped the door before them on grounds that they should not enter the place because they were still doing investigation. And so for one point to another, while they were arguing, she got irritated, and then she came out from her office, and then it was reported that she went and pepper spray 7 of the Bassa journalists that went there to inquire. So that issue blew out of proportion, and that led to the president of Alico, Mr. Hector Moba, getting involved. It led to the president, Julius Canova, also got involved, and the county local leadership, they all got involved, ranging from the county attorney to the resident judge of the 2nd Judicial Circuit Court, the police commander, all were part of the mitigation process of the whole thing. And so when they called her, she said that she did it because the guards were insisting that they wanted information, and she, taking into consideration she is a female, and so she had no authority but to pepper spray them. And in that meeting, she apologized, and even the Superintendent Kai Johnson, the County Attorney Councilor Paul Javin, the resident judge of the 2nd Judicial Circuit Court, Judge Joe S. Parker, they all appealed to the journalists to let go of that matter. and they apologized for our actions. Even the police commander, the county commander, William Johnson, they all apologized. And so following that meeting, after the journalist accepted her apology, the next morning, the president of the community radio, Mr. Hector Mumba, came down to the county with the official spokesperson of the Liberia National Police, Cecilia Clark.
Okay, yeah. So, folks, let's see if we can reconnect with King Brown here this morning. This is the Today Show here on Spoon 107.5. The show has been simulcast on Fabric 101.1 and relayed across Liberia via several community radio stations. We live on our social media platforms: Spoon TV Live, Super TV Live, Fabric TV Live, and via our YouTube channel at Spoon Talk. So you can catch us up on any of these platforms and watch the show live this morning. And don't forget to invite someone to listen or view alongside to you. But also, don't forget to play the radio entertainment game to win for yourself some huge cash prizes here this morning. We are giving out up to 15,000 Liberian dollars. 10,000, 5,000 Liberian dollars, plus, bags of rice, a bottle of oil, are all here, to be given out. So all you need to do is to play the Spoon 107.5 Mega Daily Cash Splash. And of course, we'll be splashing with a lot of catch here this morning on the show. The code is *799*3#. *799*3# is the code. Once you dial that code, it takes you to the payment of the playing fee, which is just 50 cents US of 50 Liberian dollars, and enter your mobile money PIN to confirm the payment. Once you do that, you automatically get into the draw and you stand a chance to win for yourselves huge cash prizes here. So let's see if we can reconnect with King Brown here this morning. That's a very interesting story. Pepper spraying journalists for what exactly? We want to get more details from King Brown here, and how did that story end with the lady? King, welcome back.
Yeah, thank you, Yagati. Yeah, so it took no time when we heard that after that whole engagement, that meeting that was held with Cecilia Clark coming to the county to represent the RG and to listen to the entire matter between the police and the media. In that meeting, the RG sent Cecilia Clark, the official spokesperson of the police, the superintendent, the police commander in the county, the regional commander, all were in that meeting. In that meeting, the journalists, the victims, they spoke out. The president of Alico, Mr. Hector Mumba, also he was there. He also made his point. And at the end of the meeting, Cecilia Clark, on behalf of the police, apologized to the media for what happened, and she said that going forward, they want to ensure that there's going to be a smooth relationship between the media and that of the police. So when she went back with a report to the RG, it took no time when we heard that this lady, who was accused of pepper spraying journalists, has been replaced. The first thing we heard was they said she has been disrobed from the police, and then later on, the police commander, while he was speaking with us, he said that she was replaced because he said that's why authorities stopped. He wanted to speak on how whether she was disrobed or she is not in the police, or all he knows she has been replaced at the county level, which is described as a regular part of their operations. But there have been reports that she has been disrobed from the police. Was she replaced or disrobed, whatever the information is, because of allegedly pepper spraying the journalists? Well, was the police commander there in Grand Bassa clear about that as to whether she was replaced or disrobed because of her action towards the journalists? It was not clear. It was not actually clear on that, whether she was replaced because of her action towards journalists. He only said that such changes are part of their regular rotation within the Liberian National Police.
Rotation.
But
I mean, are you saying rotation? I mean, let's be clear here. What was she disrobed? Because if she was disrobed, then it means she's no more part of the police. If she was replaced, then it means maybe there was some change where, like you talk, the issue of rotation now will come in. Maybe she was sent to another county to continue her service there as police.
Yes. So, you can see what we initially gathered, the information we initially gathered was how she has been disrobed from the police. All right. And then later on, after 1 or 2 weeks, before we heard that they have appointed or sent another person to the county to occupy her office or her space at the level of the CSD in the county. When we spoke with the police commander, he said that that is not in his line of authority to speak on whether she was disrobed or not. But all he knows is that the changes that took place, those changes are part of their rotational operation in Liberian National Police. That's why he told us. But there are credible information that she has been disrobed from the police, which we are still trying to verify.
Okay. Thank you very much, King Brown. And there's this other development, pertaining to a school there. There's some dispute over graduation fees.
Yeah. So the St. Peter Catholic High School here in Buchanan is currently under investigation, intense investigation for allegedly overcharging recent graduates of their graduation fees. And so the investigation is being led by the Grand Ambassador Office of the Ministry of Education. And so speaking on Friday, last Friday, with reporters, the County Education Officer, Jefferson Boga, said he has received reliable information indicating that the school charged graduates $155 Liberian dollars. According to him, the private schools were notified not to charge more than $100 USD. So Mr. Boga said that he has evidence supporting the allegation against the school, the Catholic school, and then he said that there will be no selected justice in enforcing the Ministry of Education policy. So he noted that once the investigation is conducted or concluded, the funding will be made public so that everybody can see it. He made reference to the Worldwide Mission High School, even that that school, that Worldwide Mission High School, is being run by the pro-tem relatives. And also the Minister of the Assistant Minister of Education, Mr. Abakanga. So he said, if I as a CEO in the county, can find the World Mission High School that is being run by family members of the pro-tem of Liberia, and tell the Minister, the Deputy Minister of Education, Abaji Kanga, then there will be no selected justice when it comes to funding schools that will overcharge students for graduation fee and all of that. So as we speak, he said that they are almost to the conclusion of the investigation, and very soon, the Catholic school, the bishop, they are going to be paying that fine into the covers of the government.
Thank you very much, King Brown, for filling us in with those developments.
Thank you so much, Ekasi.
All right, so King Brown is our Grand Bassa County correspondent. Fill us in with developments from Grand Bassa County. You're listening to the Today Show right here on Spawn 107.5. Sylvester, you listen to King Brown. Fill us in with developments from Grand Bassa County. Specifically, you want to, touch on what he reported on relative to this police officer allegedly pepper spraying journalists because they insisted to, gather information, certain information from her, and she was not willing to give the information, and she decided, to pepper spray the journalists allegedly, and the action taken. I can't speak to the action exactly because our correspondent was not clear as to whether she was replaced or she was disrupted because of her alleged action against the journalists, and out of that we yet to know as to whether she was replaced or she was disrupted. And if she were disrupted, Was she disrupted because of her action towards the journalist, or her alleged action towards the journalist? We know that normally the police do this rotational stuff, where they take one police officer from one point to another, and they know there are reasons for that, and I think the reason is they don't want a particular police officer to become so accustomed to a certain environment, because when you become so accustomed to a certain environment, you get used to the people there, actions that you're supposed to take against them. Maybe, there's going to be some bias. You're going to have some sympathy and all of that. I think that's one of the essences of the rotation. But what have you got to say about this?
Well, I mean, like you rightly stated, we are yet to know as to whether the former head for the crime division of the Bond County Police Detachment, Grand Bassa Police Detachment, was relieved from the Liberia National Police. So we can place judgment on that. But I think a replacement was necessary by the police authority, because her alleged action was very much unprofessional. I mean, you can't pepper spray journalists just because they are asking you for a report on a specific investigation that is being conducted by the Liberian National Police. But when it comes to being disrupted from the Liberian National Police, I think the police, if in any instant that is correct, the police needed to hear from her, give her due process and what have you, on her alleged action. So the whole thing for now is one-sided.
She was heard from. According to the report, there was a meeting.
Cecilia Clark are represented the police IG, and Cecilia Clark being a journalist herself, I know, may have had some interest on why her colleagues were pepper sprayed by one of her posters.
Are you saying Cecilia was
somehow
biased?
No, I'm not. I mean, she could be somehow conflicted. It's not about being biased. She could be somehow conflicted. Yeah,
conflicted, but
Cecilia Clark
is not a. I mean, she's not in mainstream media.
Yeah, but no, Cecilia Clark. Cecilia Clark is a former
she's working on behalf of the Liberian National Police.
Yeah, because Cecilia Hare is a former head for the Reporter Association, be a journalist for several years.
Okay.
And she knows the constraint and some of the difficulties journalists go through. And this could be one of the reasons for which she chose to serve as president of the Reporter Association,
the thing is, King reported. He said during that meeting, the lady apologized. So for the fact that she apologized, it shows admittance that she actually did the act. So why would you want to think that maybe Cecilia was?
No, I did not say that. No, I didn't say Cecilia was biased. I mean, Cecilia was conflicted,
or might have been biased or conflicted.
No, I did not mention biases in here. I said Cecilia Clark in the first place was conflicted because being a journalist herself, yes, could be. Yes, Cecilia Clark is a journalist.
Okay.
A journalist is also a journalist. I mean, she was president for the Reporter Association, and Cecilia is very much acquainted with some of the difficulties and constraints.
Another person should have been sent to represent the police instead of her.
She's the spokesperson of Liberian National. I can make that determination for the police, but I'm telling you, the reason for which at times you see people or counsel or judges recusing from a particular case is because of the link they have with somebody involved in that conflict.
Okay.
So Cecilia Clark is a journalist, and being the spokesperson of the Liberian National Police, where a police officer allegedly
are you
journalist.
Essentially, are you saying that, for example, if I'm a judge, maybe I was a lawyer before, and then I became a judge. So if another judge is accused of wrongdoing, I should not judge that particular matter. I should not adjudicate that particular matter because I mean that judge is of the perfection that I find myself in. Is that what you're saying?
Yekezi served as lawyer for Sylvester Wogi before, and
Okay.
Yekezi is now a judge.
So
Maybe at the labor court.
So
and
now
you got a
that's-
matter
that's-
relating to
that's-
Sylvester
that's a
Wogi appear
that's a
before
specific-
Yekezi. Yes,
That's a specific scenario you give
yes,
there.
and
But
okay.
in this case with Cecilia Clark, I mean, the journalist involved, Cecilia Clark, has no link with the journalists. The institutions that those journalists worked with. I mean,
No, when you say have no link, I would want to differ with you because
So
I know journalists. I know they cannot
what is
bond that exists among
what is
journalists.
the link
Yekezi,
for
the
the
bond that
judge
exists
for the
before-
judge instance?
Uh-huh.
For the judge instance, you are saying that you serve as a lawyer for me before.
Yeah.
There's a link there.
Yeah.
That there's a close relation. You were my lawyer before, but then now you are a judge.
Mhm.
So of course, it's clear that you need to recuse yourself because there might be some sentiments and bias or conflict of interest in that process. But on a general note, yes, Cecilia Clark is from the media background.
And
You
here's
know?
the link. Let me establish a link for you.
Okay.
Cecilia Clark served as head of the Reporter Association.
Okay.
So Cecilia Clark definitely has a link with all reporters in the country,
Okay.
being the head of the Reporter Association.
Okay.
So that's a link right there that
All
has
right.
been established.
So that is if I serve as presumably, as the president for the National Bar Association of Liberia.
Mhm.
That is, I have a link
With all
with all the lawyers,
lawyers,
including
oh,
judges.
yes, you had it here.
Okay.
Mhm.
So that is
Mhm.
if tomorrow, as you occupy another capacity as a judge,
And one of
does
them,
it mean that I'm going to be conflicted?
one
or
of them,
conflicted
when
when one of the judges or counselors
Uh-huh.
or lawyers, is accused of an act or a lawsuit is filed against them? Does it mean that I should recuse myself because before I serve as president for the National Bar Association?
Not necessarily.
Is that what you're
Not
saying?
necessarily.
But
I mean,
that's exactly
because
what you insinuating.
no. I mean, yes, the analogy you are trying to put in place could work to some extent, but here you are. You like you said, you are head of the National Bar Association.
National Bar Association.
Where that gave you link to all of the lawyers and judges in the
Yeah.
country. And today you are appointed on the
I'm a
Supreme Court
judge.
bench, for instance, or
I'm
you
a
are
judge. Yeah.
and a case appear before you that has to do with
That
one
has
of
to
the
do
that
with
have to do with a
one of
lawyer
maybe a lawyer
or a judge.
or let's say a lawyer in
Yeah.
this case.
The first thing I think people want to establish is the lawyer or judge involved in that particular instance.
Mm.
What's your relationship with the person?
So
Besides you,
that is exactly what
Besides
you
you,
establishing
no,
when
besides
it comes to the
being,
case of Cecilia Clark in
Yeah.
this particular case.
I know the bond that exists between journalists. And,
Okay.
I know the bond that exists between
But the
journalists.
bond
So
alone, the general
Ju-
bond that
I-
exists,
that not make it appear like
it-
Cecilia wasn't professional when she appeared in Bikano. No, Cecilia wasn't biased, like I always said. But I'm telling you, Cecilia, in the first place, being a journalist and knowing the constraint reporters go through, those reporters that went to the police in Bikano went there to just do a piece
so
of
you are
job.
still
acquire-
insinuating
Yes.
that because of Cecilia bond or
No,
link
I mean, you
with,
try to watch out
the
of this whole
mean-
thing.
the-
I'm
the
telling you,
media, it means maybe she might have taken side with
Cecilia
the
had no
reporters.
judgment
Or-
here to. I mean, Cecilia was representing the
she
police
was
IG.
of course.
Okay, and I mean,
And she had the responsibility to take a report to the IG.
IG, and she reported to the IG exactly. I know what unfolded in Bikano Grand Bassa County because the head for the crime division in Bikano apologized to the journalist, meaning she realized her error. So, and apparently, based on her admittance, the police decided to change her area of assignment.
Sylvester, you said Cecilia might have been conflicted, and that is what I brought in that. But let's forget about that, and let's move away from that. And
to the school issue, I think the Ministry of Education need to take some serious steps and don't just wait for people to take reports, because one of the reasons for which the Ministry of Education shouldn't sit back and wait for complaints is because the bond that parents and build with the teacher or the school over the years, like for instance, my child spent like 6 or 7 years in a particular school and he's graduating. I want to make the child happy. I want to keep that relationship between the school and my child, not me in particular, but the child and the school. So I just let go of everything. Even right in the Morovia where you got the Ministry of Education seated, you have schools that overcharge the fare set by the Ministry of Education. I did not complain. I know I pay $155 for my son's graduation. And we had to pay $80 for coats. So the graduation fee the school asked for was $155. And when I resisted, the first thing my son told me, if you don't want to pay, just leave it. I'm not forced to graduate, but I don't want you complaining the school, what have you. And so this thing it's going all around. It's rampant.
Did you complain the school at the end?
No, what happened is
so you were compromised.
When my son told me he's not forced to graduate, I understood his situation, because he didn't want that bad blood between him and the school.
Complied.
So
complied.
I had to just give him.
Complied.
Yes, I had to compromise with him. Look, I had to compromise with him.
That was the wrong thing to do, Mr. Owoy.
The child told me he's not forced to graduate. So I was not compared. He told me I'm not compared to complain the school.
To do. You just violated a policy. You violated a policy by the Ministry of Education, and you should be there, especially
the background I come from,
your background as a journalist. You should be reporting that.
But then the next thing I have to do, I need to take into consideration my child. Yes, if you have your child telling you, he's not compared to graduate. Okay. If I can pay the fee, he's waiting not to graduate, but he don't want to
what would have stopped the child from graduating if you had complained, that particular matter to the Ministry of Education?
The first thing the child realized was his school was going to be in a complete trouble with the government.
Okay.
So instead of his school running into trouble, he preferred not to graduate, not to form part of the graduation ceremony. Okay, so he whipped that. Look, I'm not compared to graduate, but I don't want you taking this matter.
So, Sylvester, the thing is,
so I was
you as a parent, you probably had that financial potency.
No, it's not about having the potency
to pay such money. But there are others who did not, who don't have the financial
and this
potency,
is what I think, look,
and probably did not even know about this policy from the Ministry of Education. So you who cognizant, you are aware about this policy, and because of your child's feeling, you decide to compromise the policy.
I do agree with
you. The Ministry of Education and going ahead to pay $155 for graduation fee, knowing that the Ministry of Education says no school must charge beyond that amount. So you are just feeding.
I'm just telling you this, that look, even when it comes to the receipt, to date, my son had refused to give me receipt of the $155. And what I did was to do a follow-up. The police admitted that, look, they paid the same fare, and that was it. So the Ministry of Education, I think, need to just go beyond sitting and waiting for complaint. Like the police will say, no complaint, no case. The judges, the court don't go around looking for cases. It's people who carry complaint to the court. So I mean,
but you
education
too,
could
the
just be
parents too, the citizens like you should also help the Ministry of Education to carry those complaints to help them do their jobs. I mean, because the ministry does not have inspectors in the various schools in the country to know what's happening there. It will always be based on complaints that they will get to
They will
know
do follow up
about some of those
I'm
things that are happening. So it will be based
that.
on a complaint that they will
They
do
will
a
get
follow
to
up
know what is going on.
and everything. So if you say they shouldn't just sit there and the parents have a role, and that's a role that Sylvester
I think these things are coming up now after
out.
graduation. These things are coming up now so that it can serve as future deterrents. That look, it happened before, but it shouldn't happen again. So those who are bringing it, all the parents who are now raising this issue, they didn't raise it when their kids were about to graduate, but waited after the graduation exercise before raising these issues, because one thing was they had to empathize with their own children. I mean,
so what is the empathy there? Because number one, your child has gone to the school, your child has been given clearance to graduate. I mean,
the child has established a new family.
The only thing that child is waiting for is the graduation.
After graduation, the child will still have that bond, that relationship with that school. Because, mind you, this is why we've got alumni association right around here. Okay. Because the years the child spent in the school, they build that relationship.
Compromising the law because of relationship? Is that what you're saying?
No, this is why I say these things are coming up now because the graduation is over. So it should not serve as future deterrence
of relationship because of this. No, we shouldn't be doing that. That's a policy. I agree, but that could also be a law that you compromise it because of maybe your child's feeling, or maybe because of relationship, and we shouldn't be doing that.
Because these things are coming up now so that it can be repeated in the future. These are future deterrents now we're talking about. So those schools involved, the next time they'll have a second thought. Look, last year we were safe.
The deterrence you're talking about, and it should begin with you. If you are completing that particular act, and action taken against that institution, that would have been a very, very strong deterrence. That would have been a very, very strong deterrence.
I'm not disputing that. I did agree with you. I told you in the first place is, look, at times we allow these things. We shall go. I know. I'm very much cognizant that look, these were mistakes that we made in the past and shouldn't be repeated. So we raised this issue after graduation because you look at the feeling, the emotion of your kids,
and that is why I disagree. That is where my disagreement will always
agree
be.
with your disagreement. I told you, yes, these were errors we made.
You shouldn't have made that error, Mr. Sylvester.
No, that's
not an error. I don't consider that as an error because it's something intentional. It's something deliberate. It's something you did deliberately because, according to you, wanted to empathize with your son, so you must compromise the Ministry of Education policy. And you, from a journalistic background, I don't think. I mean, just completing that matter would have saved a lot of parents.
The reason for which
$55 Liberian dollars each.
Look, I'm saying this publicly because these are things I want, to be avoided in the future. This is why I'm saying this publicly. I couldn't have come and sit on this radio to say, look, myself breached the Ministry of Education policy because of my child happiness.
Okay.
I realized a mistake. This is why I'm saying it publicly.
Okay. That's a good one. Yeah, but folks, that's it. This is today's show right here on Spoon 107.5. My name is Yekezi Zobel. I'm here alongside Sylvester Wowie. We take a few calls and then we place a call to Reverend Thomas Jones, former TRP supervisor at the Ministry of Labor. He's accusing the ministry of failing to pay his seven or 6 months salary area. When he called, he's going to make that clarification.
The labor ministry that is funding other institutions for bad labor practices also involved in bad labor practice.
That's an accusation, and
Yeah,
of course, we're going to provide the side of the labor ministry, because I've also spoken to the deputy labor minister, because he's specifically accusing the deputy labor minister, Othello Mansour. And I spoke with the deputy minister over the weekend, and he provided his side of the story. So first, we get to hear the side of the accuser, and then after that, we'll provide the side of the accused, who's the deputy labor minister. But in the meantime, let's take a few calls just before doing that. Call us on 0777-771-075. I don't know if this line is on. Okay, it is on. 0777-771-075, 0555-101-075. You're listening to the various developments from the counties. What have you got to say about them? Let's hear you out. Let's get your opinions. 0777-771-1075, 0555-101-075 are the numbers to call through this morning. Call us and have your say. This is the Today Show on Spoon, and don't forget to play the radio game. The code remains *799 *3# *799 *3# is the code. Once you dial that code, it takes you to the payment of the playing fee, and the playing fee is just 50 cents or 50 USD. Once you pay, you enter your mobile money pin, you automatically get into the draw, and you stand a chance to win for yourselves some huge cash prizes here this morning on the show.
I think including phones, because here on Saturday, one of the winners came to pick up a phone.
Not on this show, so I don't. Yeah, I don't want to lie to the people.
I think Shannon.
Yeah, other platforms like Shannon and other. Yeah, but on this show, what we offering is the cash prizes and bags of rice and the bottles of oil, and out of that. Yeah, so folks, let's take this short break. We come back. We review the local dailies to know what's happening in the print media, but prior to that, we speak to Reverend Thomas Jones Sr., former TRP supervisor at the Ministry of Labor.
Where is nonsense coming from? Please, Madam Potter, distinguished colleagues, where is nonsense, left-threatening thing coming from? That when you speak on governance issue, oversight, then you are supposed to be anti-NEMA. My left is threatened, my left is at risk, because the people who speaking, I know them. Madam Protem. Madam Protem, the Minister of Public Works must be brought before the Senate. The Minister of Labor, I want to make the case. If it makes sense, okay. If it doesn't, fine, I can live with it. The Minister of Labor did not go to his house to make a wild allegation to the effect that he was nominated by President Joseph Nima Bouaka to be Minister of Justice His communication, his nomination was formally communicated to the Senate in keeping with the law and the practice, and that our Darius Dillon as senator fought his nomination in the Senate until the president withdrew him. He did not say that in his living room. Madam President Pro Tempore, all of us in the Senate, in our Senate chat room, we have the video. The Minister of Labor, he is angered in our exercise of our oversight responsibility on the work permit issue, went to the government-funded, sanctioned press conference at the MICAT, Ministry of Information, where he said on video, live, that Senator Dillon is against the people for NEMA. It's the same way I'm targeting him because the president nominated him. His letter came here and I fought it until the president withdrew him. In our same press conference at the Ministry of Information, regular weekly press briefing, the Minister of Labor said that that's the same target I used to target Senator Chris Johnson, peace be to his ashes. And that's the same thing I'm doing to him for another NEMA person to die. But I told him, I'm not afraid, but my life is threatened.
Madam Pro Tem, if these actions of agents of the executive and state actors go unnoticed, today it might be every show as an opposition, a proud opposition. But what about the law? Who's a member of a ruling party? And that's
Okay, pleasant welcome back. This is the Today Show right here on Spawn 107.5. The time is 20 minutes climbing up until 10 o'clock, and welcome. We have on the line the former TRP supervisor. That's trafficking. TRP means trafficking in person. Supervisor at the Ministry of Labor. He worked with the Ministry of Labor, according to him, for 13 months, and he was only paid, I think, for 6 or 7 months. But then he spent demanding the rest of his pay. But he's accusing the Deputy Minister, Labor Minister, Othero Mansour, of, compelling him to waive 3 months of his unpaid salary. Well, Reverend Thomas Jones Simeon is on the line to tell us more. And then, of course, like I said, I spoke with the Deputy Minister over the weekend, and he provided the Labor Ministry's side of the story, and his side of the story specifically because he's been accused of, compelling a former employee to waive his 3 months of unpaid salary. Reverend, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. God bless you for this invitation. And first of all, let me extend my thanks and appreciation to the Spoon family for the publication date for me as regarding my salary that I stay at Ministry of Labor.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got employed, for your information, I got employed with the Ministry of Labor on May 7, 2024. And after I got employed, I worked with them for 13 good months, and they paid me for 6 months out of the 13 good months. When I resigned from the Ministry of Labor, I went for my salaried business. I met the Minister proper, Minister Kupokra, and then he told me to go straight to the Deputy Minister for Administration, Deputy Minister Otielo Menzo. And when I got to Menzo's office, he only told me that out of the 7 months, they can pay me 4 months because the ministry is going through financial constraint challenges. So I should waive the 4 months, the 3 months. So after he said that, I told him, I said, no, Mr. Menzo, I cannot waive 3 months that I have worked for.
Are you saying, Reverend, that the Deputy Minister Othello Mansell told you to waive 3 months of your salary? They didn't tell you to waive 3 months of your salary or promise to pay your balance 3 months in the future when the ministry should have generated more funds?
No, he told me that the ministry doesn't have money at present, and the ministry is going through financial challenges. Therefore, I should take 4 months and then
waive the 3 months.
A release. So he didn't promise me. He didn't promise me by saying, Reverend Jones, we're giving you 4 months, which you may receive of, then we owe you 3 months. He didn't do that. I told him, no, I cannot take 4 months and then wait 3 months. And there where we stopped. And I went in the office there several times. After he even did that, I went to Kopokra, Minister Kraft, and I told him, and he told me to revisit the office. And I revisited the Deputy Minister office. That morning when I went there, he said the same thing coming from his office. Deputy Minister Kraft was going to his office for his remembrance plan. He met me there, and I left. I even met Steve Coliber and told Steve Coliber. So he didn't say that they have 4 months to pay me, and then they will pay me the balance money later. No, it is not true. It is false. They still owe me, and they are still saying that they can only give me 4 months as to waive the balance 3 months. And Othello Menzo, no, he said that before me. I started in his office several times, and he said that to me. Why should he scapegoat by saying that he said that I should take 4 months and then they would pay me 3 months later? No, it's false.
Okay.
It's false.
Yeah. So
I'm not even expected. I never expected him to even say that. Being Deputy Minister for Labor, for administration, that should be in the vanguard to ensure that workers get their pay after they have worked. He said the ministry doesn't have money, but he takes the allowance every month. The ministry doesn't have money, but he takes his scratch card every month. The ministry doesn't have money. He gets his gas coupons every month. But just to pay me my 7 months, he's saying that ministry doesn't have money. The government is going through financial challenges. So I should receive 4 months and let go 3. No.
Okay. Yeah. So like I said from the onset of this conversation, that I did place a call to the minister of the Deputy Minister of Labor, Othello Mansell, over the weekend. And, according to him, the ministry has been struggling with limited revenue, and the ministry pays contractors only when funds are available. And according to him, he offered 4 months salary upfront to you because he said your issue was was of urgency. With the remaining amount to be paid once additional revenue was generated. That is exactly what he said. He, according to him, it's not true that he compelled you to waive your salary.
Mr. Yegezi, to tell you the truth, he has to say that because he's against what he's even doing is against the labor law. This is why he keep going that. But Othello Menzo said that to me several times. I went to that place several times. Can't you imagine? I went after my own money like somebody begging for money, something that I have worked for. And I went there several times. And for each time I went there, I visited the Minister Corporate office. It is true that they have people in the place there under intimidation, and they are not paying. They're using that word that no money, when money gets there, when money comes in, then they pay people. It is true. I was there. They used to do the same thing. You work for 2 months, they gave you 6 months. It is true. But that is just means they are finding to justify the error that they are in. People working with them in that ministry, and the ministry is so passionate to understand that certain group of people enjoy incentive and immunity while the other people suffer there, and they are suffering at the peak if you go to do investigation. So what he's saying is just something that he's trying to scapegoat because it has gone into the public. So he has to. You can't stand and say, yes, it is true. You know that he can. If he does that, that is tantamount to a dictator. Then Deputy Minister for Administration in that era, he can. He will never. That one is, you should know that it's Christian. He has to scapegoat. It's what he said to me. It's what he said to me. That's to let go my 3 months.
Okay. So then, was the 4 months salary paid? Did you accept the 4 months salary, awaiting the 3 months to be paid maybe in subsequent time?
No, as we speak, Ministry of Labor owes me 7 months.
7 months.
I did not receive it. It was at a negotiation table. He was negotiating with me. I did not receive it. He was negotiating. It's not something where he did a check and say, oh, Mr. Jones, this is the check, but we want you to sign this. We want you to sign it and then make a receipt that we owe you 3 months. It was at a negotiation table. So if I had agreed to his proposal, intimidating proposal, because he said that if and only if I don't take that money, I won't get money. So it was something intimidatory. So if I had agreed, that it mean I would have thought they would have processed the check and I would have signed for it and let go my 3 months. And I said no. So as we speak, Labor Ministry that is responsible to ensure that workers get their pay, still get my 7 months after I have resigned. And I resigned in the month of May. So brother, just take from May up to now. This month, I believe this month to make it 6 months.
And what triggered your resignation? What actually did you resign?
Okay, I resigned because I found it appealing to focus on the church, knowing the fact that my being in the ministry there is just waste of time, and I felt that and still feel that instead of sitting in the ministry, better I sit in the church because
is it because your salary wasn't coming on time?
It's just waste of time. Number one, probably not coming on time, and I have to pay my tithes, I have to pay my offering. I went to do that job to be a good support to the ministry. I didn't go there to sit down for months and see part of fatality going on in the building, other people living the way they're supposed to live because of some travel mean, and we sit there, you know, the people that are hot-headed. So I just sat and said, look, but there's no need. It's better that I go focus on the church than to come waste my time every morning, gas my own car and come to go to work in the evening, go back. You know, that was waste of time. So I just said, well, let me just resign and focus on the church working part. Once there are responsibilities coming in the church, the better that I focus on the church. But then there was just a complete waste of time.
Mr. Jones, were you hired as a contractor?
Well, if you look at my letter of employment before you that I have sent, there's nothing like contractor.
I mean, this is great when you said travel line. I mean, did you experience anything of such while you were with the Ministry of Labor?
Tell me again.
I mean, I heard you speak of tribalism. I mean, did you observe anything of such while in the employ of the Ministry of Labor?
But my brother, it's article. The Minister proper is a view man. The Deputy Minister for Administration is a view man. The Assistant Minister for Administration is a view man. The HRO is a view man. The Controller is a view man. And all of these groups in the administrative cycle. So who dare to speak for who?
So the Guild people are enjoying more immunity than the other.
Exactly so. That whole place there is Nimba SP. That place is Nimba SP. Complete Nimba SP. And I believe, brother, it's because I'm a drone, because several times I have gone there, the arrow of Marty Deba, Kulako Fremont, Ocello Mesdo. We have tax. My Kulapo Frimo and Deba and I, we have tax on my salary issue. And just like that. So that whole place is in my SP. I believe if I was Raka one, if I was Guante, if I was Men, or if I was Men's D, probably I would have gotten my salary.
Okay.
Most of the time I went in that place, I did a lot. Most of the time I went in that place, I jotted down for notes so that I can know the days that I went there. And I worked in that place from a salary business. I mean, no credence given me, no human feeling, as if to say, I don't know, it's something that's still wondering me.
Okay.
But who administrated this cycle there, brother? That's it there.
Okay, but you also did write a communication to the office of the ombudsman, complaining this. What did the ombudsman say as the ombudsman responded to your communication, or what is it doing to investigate that matter?
Well, it is in action. The file is on an active list. I'm hoping to hear it from them as soon as possible, as they have promised me. And I know that justice will prevail because it's something that I work for. It's something that belongs to me. And this government is there to ensure that workers get their pay. I'm sure the ombudsman will work, and I will get my money.
Okay, yeah. You worked at the Ministry of Labor for 13 months, according to you. 1 year, a month. And the deputy minister is saying that the ministry is constrained when it comes to generating funds, and he attributed that to the reason why salaries of employees are not paid on time and all of that. What was your own experience when it comes to the ministry generating funds?
Well, I don't want to go too much deeper into that, but that is poor excuse. That is poor excuse. Labor ministry generates enough money. That is poor excuse. Poor excuse. You can do your analysis. You can do your BM setup at labor ministry. You can do your investigation at labor ministry. Labor ministry is one of the ministries that generates enough money for the government. So to get my little salary, you give an excuse that no money is in the system. No money is in the system, but your car is getting gas every day. No money is in the system, but you get your car every day. No money is in the system, but when money ends, you take your salary.
And the deputy minister also said that the ministry does not pay, and I mean, he referred to you as a contractor, that the ministry does not pay contractors individually and only issues payments in group when funds are accumulated.
Even though in my letter, there's nothing like contractual agreement in my letter. My letter states employment.
Okay.
But let us digress a little bit. Okay, if only if I was still in the employ of labor ministry, then that makes sense. But this is a man who has resigned from the ministry and seeking for his salary. Then how will you then say that we pay people in general? What sense does it speak? It doesn't make sense, because I'm no more under the purview of the administrative dialogue. Again, I'm out. I'm no more in the employ. So that is very poor. It lacks substance. It lacks substance to say, oh, we pay contractors. Even if and only if I was a contractor and then resign, what sense does it speak that I should wait for general payment when I'm out of the system? When they understand the labor law.
Thank you. Reverend Jones. Anything finally before we take leave of you?
Yes, sir. The only thing I get to say is that I advise that the Ministry of Labor redouble their effort in labor practices in ensuring that workers within their ministry they take pay before they can even go out to advocate for people compensation and things. And I also take this time to extend thanks and appreciation to you for the opportunity accorded me to explain these things to the public. You see, that ministry to be the ministry for everyone to rely on. But that ministry is a broken stick. Broken stick. When it comes to fairness, when it comes to justice, that place is terrible. No regard for human labor. It is injustice. That is labor abuse.
Okay, thank you very much, Reverend.
That's interesting.
Thank you so much, brother. God bless you. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Reverend Thomas Jones Senior is a former TRP supervisor there at the Ministry of Labor. Levying several allegations against
accusing the Labor Ministry of labor abuse.
Yeah, the Labor Ministry of labor abuse, but then specifically accusing Deputy Minister Othello Mansour of compelling him to waive 3 months of his salary on what he termed as a negotiation table. Wow, that's a grave allegation. But like I said, the Deputy Minister responded, over the weekend, and we did a story on that, and I just want to read that story for the sake of balance. So it says, Deputy Minister denies allegations of forcing staff to surrender salary. Deputy Labor Minister for Administration Othello Mansour has refuted allegations that he attempted to force a former staff member to forfeit part of his salary. The accusation was made by Reverend Thomas T. Jones Senior, a former acting supervisor in the ministry's Trafficking in Persons Division. Reverend Jones claims that the ministry owes him 7 months' salary, but Deputy Minister Mansour insisted he accepts 4 months' payment instead of the full 7 months owed, citing government's financial constraints. But Deputy Minister Mansour has termed the allegation as inaccurate and far from reality. According to Minister Mansour, the ministry has been struggling with limited revenue and pays its contractors only when funds are available. He says Reverend Jones was offered 4 months' salary upfront because he had expressed urgency with the remaining amount to be paid once additional revenue was generated, adding that the ministry does not pay contractors individually and only issues payments in groups when funds have been accumulated. According to the Deputy Minister, Reverend Jones rejected the offer and threatened to take the matter to the media. He maintained that the ministry has been transparent about its financial constraints, and he says no one was compelled to forfeit their wages. Minister Mansour further indicated that the ministry is currently making efforts to settle outstanding payments owed to contractors at both central and county levels. So that's the article we did. On Spoon TV Facebook handle relative to the allegation made by the Reverend Thomas T. Jones Senior. But I mean, that's it. That is something concerning, and the part I like is what he termed the labor ministry as a Nima FC.
Yeah. I mean, he gave his own reason for labor in the ministry as Niba FC. He said the minister is Gio, the deputy Gio, the assistant Gio, the HR Gio, and so the entire ministry is Niba, and he considered it as Niba FC.
And let me say this before we leave. The patronage system, I think, is attributable to that. And it's not unique to this government. It's not unique to the Unity Party government. But I mean, it's something that previous governments, and I think during future government, will indulge in.
You want to be a soothsayer now?
I mean, with the kind of, it's not a matter of being soothsayer, but it's forecasting, it's foreseeing based on contemporary issues, based on contemporary realities. So the kind of patronage system we've built in our political spectrum, it will always cause these kinds of things, because politicians give job to people who supported them, people who were in the vanguard for them, people who campaigned for them vehemently, irrespective of whether or not the individual, merits that particular position, or is qualified or is competent for that particular position. And so once we continue to have these kinds of system, then it becomes a problem. When political parties go together, when political parties merge during election, especially in Liberia during the second round of the election,
they are rewarded for jobs.
They go on negotiation tables.
Yeah.
And those are some of the things that some of the parties involved in a negotiation proffered. That if you should win this election, if we march with you, if we declare our support for you, and you win this election, we want this.
Yeah, they made specific demands.
You gave us specific demand. You gave us the labor ministry,
justice ministry.
You gave us the justice ministry. You gave us this ministry, or you gave us this agency, and all of that. And when that candidate win the election, they feel compelled to uphold that agreement, because the candidate too maybe has some other future political ambition. So they don't want to disappoint. They don't want to not adhere to that agreement that they've had with the other political parties, because they fear for their future political life. Yeah. And so because of that, people are appointed to those kinds of positions. Like, let's take, for example, MDR, right? MDR was one of the strong political parties. MDR led to play a pivotal role when it comes to the Unity Party win, because the MDR gave Nima Kante over.
First, the CDC win in 2017, 2018. We know the MDR played a fatal role during the second round when they, pledged their support to the CDC.
Yeah.
And in the end, CDC suffered for failure
because
to live on the promises
they did not live up to the promises.
And what they made to the late MDR, the CDC government failed to live by the promises that were made to the MDR. So what they did, switch their support from the CDC to the Unity
Party. So there's this whole pitch. We have built a system that it becomes very difficult to eliminate such. It becomes very, very patronage system. People not giving job based on merit. Not based on merit, but rather based on
the loyalty,
support, loyalty, and all these things. And once we continue to run our politics like that, we'll continue to face those kinds of problems. And just to chip in on one of the things that Nathaniel McGill mentioned, and this is very important for the CDC, because in fact not the CDC, but for the Unity Party, because during the CDC regime, they flew around here when they were in opposition, members of the Unity Party, that the CDC did this, CDC, kill auditors, the CDC corrupt, the CDC did this, and blah, 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 blah. But then, luckily, the Liberian people listened to you based on some of the things that you said at the time. They listened, they believe some of the things that you said, and they decided to boot out the CDC,
hoping that you will correct those mistakes made by the CDC.
You will correct. You will prosecute, and that's one of the main reasons most Liberians voted the Unity Party. Prosecution. That will prosecute corrupt officials. But then since then, the Unity Party came.
Gone close to 2 years.
The same corrupt officials. Oh, you can prosecute others. Y'all say we did this.
They are telling
And
saying,
one person who has been at the forefront of that calling for him to be prosecuted is Jefferson Koji, because there were a lot of things, a lot of allegations
he was
levied against
leading
Jefferson Koji,
malicious, and he was-
you know, during the CDC regime by members of the opposition community. Now, Jefferson Koji crying on the Unity Party government now for prosecution.
and he's right in the country. He's not out of Liberia. He's here telling you, look,
What is
our
delaying?
accused-
What is happening? Why you not probing, you're not investigating, you're not prosecuting Jefferson Koji based on all of the allegations that you made against him? What happened to the depth of the auditors that, you know, was linked to the CDC government? I mean, that government officials of the CDC government were responsible for that. What happens to the investigation into that matter? For the 3 missing boys, I think the current Liberia National Police headed by Gregor Coleman came out with the same finding, nothing different from what the previous government found.
And the new government, the Unity Party government, reopened the file and also came out with the same findings. So yes, I mean, Yakazi, we know the CDC government, when the CDC was in opposition, they accused the Unity Party government headed by former President Johnson Sirleaf of being corrupt. But when the CDC came into power, they refused to prosecute the corrupt official in the early government. So the Unity Party is making similar mistake. And I listened to our official of the Unity Party on all our platforms where they are also admitting to these things, because they are saying, look, I mean, CDC were accused of killing auditors. We are here. The Justice Ministry is still to open a file or make sure the former official of the CDC government that were accused of committing this crime are tried. So they are also alluding to the fact, the same thing that the opposition are saying, look, we are accused of. So if say the CDC government, I mean, the Unity Party government came into power through lies and what have you, they are also, you know, proving those who are making the allegation right, because you are in power since 2 years. I mean, you are yet to prosecute those who are accused of killing auditors. I don't know. We keep making the same mistake, but expect different results. The CPP made similar mistake. The Unity Party is doing the same. We keep
okay.
How do we transform this country? I think can we? And the thing you can see that is so sad about this whole thing is, I listened to the Unity Party chairman the other day saying, I mean, all other political parties in this country are happy for, I mean, CDC and the Unity Party are the two governing party of this country. I mean, the CMC and what have you, and ANC were all happy for it, because we know Liberty Party, we don't hear about the Liberty Party any longer. But I think they are making some big mistakes.
You know, the Liberty Party just appointed district heads of recent. They say,
but you can see right now, the Liberty Party is like being swallowed by the Unity Party. I mean, we got the Pro-Tem, we got Dulon. You know, they are all right now like being swallowed. No, I don't want to repeat what the Unity Party chairman said, but I mean, that was being very disrespectful to the other political parties.
But is that not a reality? Is that not reality?
I mean, I can say for sure it's the reality. No, I mean, what's happening is, we know we had NDPL.
I think he was speaking in context.
Yeah, but we had an
especially based on our recent election history, where usually during the run of election, they're doing a run of election. I mean, after the first run of the election, I mean, those two parties will you know, come up victorious, and then the rest of the other parties will join them
after the Taylor rule. So it had been the Unity Party and the CDC. But before the Unity Party and the CDC, we had all the political parties, and they all vanished the same way the Unity Party and the CDC will one day vanish.
Yeah, so until the Unity Party and the CDC vanish, I mean,
so all the political parties are just happy for.
I mean that. Let's
No,
go.
no.
Let's go. Let's
Eh,
go. Let me not put myself in situation I get here. Okay, so folks, that's it. That's all the time we have to be here on this edition of the Today Show. It's been a wonderful, wonderful conversation here. You can join us on tomorrow when we hope to be here with another thunderstriking, fascinating, and captivating edition of the show. My name is Yekezi Zwobe. I've been here alongside Sylvester Wowie. Catch us up tomorrow. Bye-bye.